welcome to my channel. It's complicated, just call me Kay. Here's what I want to talk about. That was another thing I wanted to talk about as well. And this video, whatever, may go out the same day as another one I just recorded. But is, I guess, spirituality. And I'm not trying to make this channel my spiritual channel per se. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a second channel about that, because I do want to talk about more about about my experiences as far as spirituality, things that I experienced, like as far as dreams, predicting stuff, experiencing ghosts. I'm not sure what this called. I guess I was channeled through or whatever while I was asleep, and other things. And also I like to talk about spiritual attacks, because I know there are people that have gone through spiritual attacks every day. And before I go on and talk more about this, I like to mention that when a lot of times, because this country, I'm in the United States. Hold on just a second. Like, I'm in the United States, and so people normally think about Christianity, and I have to say, as a disclosure, I'm not a Christian. And also, when people hear that and they think spirituality, they think, are you a witch? I'm not a witch. I gotta say that. I'm not a witch. I'm just a spiritual person. I do believe in a higher power. I do believe that there are spirits. You can call them spirits. You can call them energies. And them energies can be positive or negative, low or high. Sorry, I'm driving right now and just I might as well just wait a little bit, I guess. Okay, I'm back. So like I was saying, when I think of the spiritual world, I don't have all the answers. I know there is a higher power or higher powers, but at least speaking on earth or whatnot, I know there, whatever you can call it low vibrational energies or just energies, or high vibrational energies or just energy. Evil, good, positive, negative, however you want to say it, you know, because I know in each and every person there is a positive aspect and a negative aspect. And this earth that we live on is basically very dense and generally low vibrational. And I do want to go in the future, and honestly, I do want to study more of the Bible and probably learn other different religious texts, just to kind of, what I call it, look into the puzzles and kind of see what's there, you know, from a different perspective than a, you know, Christian looking into or reading the Bible. I want to look at it more of in a spirituality sense and see what I can find in this, you know, in the scriptures, because a lot of it, when you really look at it, honestly, there are some truths to the Bible, but at the same time, the Bible has been remixed, manipulated, things been taken out, things been added. And this been recorded. This is not like some type of conspiracy theory or whatever. It has been recorded in documentations in history that the Bible has been manipulated. For example, I know there are books that were in a Bible. They might be in some other Bibles, I guess, depending on what denomination you're in, or if you're a Catholic or not. But for example, I guess me being, you know, grew up on the King James Version, from what I understand, there were books that were taken out because, quote unquote, can't remember how it was put. They weren't, I'm not gonna say godly. I can't really think of the word for it, but they weren't divine or something like that. And then, of course, people manipulate it. Then when you think about it, I'm like, dude, the way I look at the Bible, now I'm not trying to mock or be disrespectful, but I'm like, these people who came up with this Bible for us to read and be controlled under, I'm like, y'all did a bad job, because there are so many inconsistencies in the Bible. It's like, dude, y'all said this. I'm like, if y'all try to control people and y'all took this out and y'all left this, why in the world y'all left this in? Because a lot of things in the Bible is actually really coming true. For example, like one, I guess, I don't know exact verses, but I remember this stuff, remember it being in the Bible, like, I guess the younger people or whatever going to be more wiser and this and that. And to me, honestly, it's coming out. And then when I think about Revelations, I think of, majority of people on average think of wars, rumors of wars, the weather, the this and that. I mean, I believe that could be true as part of it, because it's stuff that's happening. Has it always been wars? It's always been wars. Every generation, from my generation way on back, experienced a war. It always been a war. And but when I think about Revelations, I think of a lot of things that are just coming out. People are becoming more wise. Like they say, younger people are becoming more wiser. And I believe that's really true, because right now, when they talk about spirituality, the veil is thinning. So a lot of people are getting, quote unquote, these downloads coming to them. More people are becoming more spiritual, and a lot of people are getting out of religion and things of that nature, as far as younger people, and it makes sense, because younger people are still young. They haven't been completely indoctrinated from childhood up until, it's just, this is a day and age we're in. It's called Revelations. Revelation is revealing. That's what I think about. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Somebody can send a comment. But but like I said earlier, I would like to read more of the Bible and see if what pieces of the puzzle that I can kind of put together. And then another thing as far as spirituality, it's like just you can go through spiritual attacks. And honestly, like I said, I wanted to talk more about this, but probably on a different channel, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So I'm just going to mention this. Yes, I have came under a spiritual attack. And honestly, I think I always had, I guess, been spiritually attacked, because I do consider myself an empath, a light worker, and things of that nature. And I would say from childhood on, it was always something. Dealing with a narcissistic mother, a toxic family dynamic, and then met my ex. To me, honestly, I had no chance as far as meeting the right person or whatever. Anybody could have just came to me at the time besides my ex, who was toxic. And I didn't have a chance with them, because, not chance with them, but I didn't have a chance. I was gonna, it's like I was easy prey, easy mark, put it that way, because of living in a toxic family and dealing with like a narcissistic parent. Hope that makes sense. But I would say I always kind of dealt with that, even with my career. And I know generally people say, well, it must be you. I'm like, dude, it wasn't quote unquote just me. I could be like, one of my jobs, like just mind my own business, just doing the best that I can, working, trying to stay out of gossip and this or that. And then when people feel like you're not kissing up to them enough, or you ain't talking enough, or it's like, okay, now you a target, or are you working hard, you kind of showing us up. So now it's our time to move on. I mean, a lot of people experience this, so the answer is not so simple as this might be you, because if that's the case with all the people kind of going through it, this world, nobody would be complaining about living on earth, put it that way, about toxic people. Everybody just been like, majority of people would have been just happy, just things are just going great in life, no complaints about finances and jobs, you know, being this and that, or looking for a job and not, you know, not being able to find one, it would hardly be no complaints. And the ones who probably complain, we'll be looking crazy, you know, like, why you complaining? Life is good, you know. So that answer is not always just that dry cut. Oh, it must be just you. It's deeper than that. Like when you think about people or persons that decided to distance themselves from a toxic family. Like I distanced myself from a toxic family. I will consider myself more estranged versus what's the word for it? I didn't just totally cut them off. Like, I don't know y'all, you guys are dead to me. I didn't truly do that, but it kind of felt that way because it seemed like I'm involuntarily, I've been cut off. You know, I can't explain it. I just didn't make the decision it just happened. You know, and I know nowadays, it's less taboo to talk about, you know, these type of things. I would say back the early 2000s, I would say the early 2000s, going back like to the 90s and then going further back, it was really taboo to talk about these situations and talk about narcissism. First of all, people didn't know about narcissism. I never heard about narcissism or anything like that, and I think most people haven't during that time. And it was really taboo. I mean, it was taboo talking about your mom, you know, like, oh, your mom's toxic. Let me give you an example. You know, of course, I was a big rap fan, and this was this time period I'm going to talk about was, I would say, the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, I was graduating high school, going into college. So around that time, and that's when Eminem came up and was, you know, becoming popular. And he rapped about, you know, his mom, you know, how she was being toxic and all this type of stuff. And I think Eminem kind of tapped into that certain crowd per se that related to that and actually didn't have a voice. That's what made some of his songs so, in my opinion, besides him being a great lyricist, I mean, it was like unheard of to talk about a toxic mom, because back in the days, it was like moms were all butterflies and rainbows and sunshine. You know, you didn't hear nothing about, everybody was used to hearing dad ain't shit, you know, fathers ain't shit, or an absentee father. Everybody was used to hearing that. But when it came down to moms were like no, that wasn't a topic that you should talk about. Only time you should talk about mom is how great she is. So when Eminem came out, it was like wow. And I honestly kind of related to him. I ain't relate to hateful lyrics and want to do this and do that to anybody, but I understood the angst of, you know, what he talked about, because I kind of went through that. So now, fast forward, you know, it's more common to hear about narcissism and things like that. When I was going through the things that I was going through with my ex, and then kind of still going through some of the stuff that I dealt with my mom, I couldn't find no information. It was very difficult. I think when I finally made a breakthrough and found some information was on like this, what we called back then, I'm not sure if they really have them. I think Reddit is the closest thing to it, like a more of an advanced form of it, but it was like forums, Forums, forums. We had different forums to go to. Like, it's like we have forums like within this psychological type of forum, you know, and to me that was like a blessing to me, because I was so confused. I didn't have no answers or anything. I'm like, am I going crazy? Is it just me, you know, going through all this, you know? And I found a forum, and that's how I found out about the word narcissism and abuse. And I honestly, people probably think, really? I never heard of mental abuse. I never heard of emotional abuse. when I normally think of abuse during that time, I normally thought of it as physical abuse, getting hit or slapped or punched or whatever. I never thought of it as emotional abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse. I never heard of anything like that. So all this was new to me, and that's, I guess, learning that information kind of helped me, along with other people that were my resources to help me get out of that marriage, get counseling, and it also kind of answers some of the reasons why I acted the way I acted. I did what I did was because of childhood trauma. So basically, I've been back to what I was talking about. I did go through some spiritual attacks, and then once I guess stopped becoming a Christian totally and got a different mindset, I did go through one spiritual attack recently, and honestly, I'm not sure why. I think it's due to just me being an empath, a light worker, and I guess my spirituality became stronger in a sense once I started learning more about the spiritual world in a spiritual sense, not religious sense. So this might sound crazy or whatever, because people probably like, so if you don't really believe in all this stuff, you can just decide to turn it off. And I will thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it. But if you do believe in this or just curious about what I'm going to talk about, but I would just say please stay respectful while on my channel, then I appreciate it. But one thing I would say, that we all of us, that we are in a spiritual warfare basically, and like I said, more people are becoming more enlightened, things are being revealed, and some people it's not gonna be as shocked as others who pretty much been indoctrinated and kind of still is, So I would say, because I would listen to one content creator. She's a tarot reader and things of that nature, and I know at one point I was watching her, she kept talking about, she was like, I'm not sure who I talked to. This looks like in a series of videos, and she was like, I don't know who I'm talking to or whatever, but or a group of people I'm talking to, I don't know, but you need to go ahead and get some spiritual protection, do this, take these certain vows, sage your home, crystals, all that type of stuff. And me, I guess I already knew I was kind of spiritual, and I feel like I was spiritually protected, and I still do. That I'm like, I'm not sure she's talking to me or whatever, but I'm not sure if all that's necessary. That's kind of how I felt. But one day, I'm not sure, I'm just gonna call it, I'm not sure if it's like some type of form of gang stalking, but in the spiritual aspect or whatever. But this is my story that happened like around March. And it, basically what happened was, mind you, I wasn't wearing no protection doing anything, like really seriously. I did, sage my home. I do believe in that. And, took like spiritual vows, but it wasn't often. So now we get into the nitty gritty. So I was driving one day doing one of my package deliveries, for my business. And I just looked in the rearview mirror and I saw like some flashing lights of a car behind me. I'm like, what's going on? Like flashing headlights. So so I just kind of like, okay, that's strange. And they kept going. So they kept going straight as I turned. So I was like, okay, let me blow that off, which I kind of did blow that off. I just figured maybe it's somebody who just had the lights. I don't know. Or maybe they tried to tell me something, and I guess it wasn't that important. So I did my deliver my little packages, to the mailbox. And then basically I was leaving the mailbox on the way home, and I noticed that some guy, as I was at the stoplight, kind of like, he kind of was getting my attention on my passenger side. So I let my window down and like, hi, and it was like an older white guy, whatever, basically somebody that wasn't threatening, put it that way. So I opened my window a little bit, and this car was like, basically, your brake lights not coming on or something like that, be careful or whatever. And I'm like, huh. And mind you, I just got my brakes fixed, so I didn't know. So of course I took all this seriously. I'm like, okay, thank you, whatever, you know. Drove home and basically, you know, made a phone call to the auto shop that fixed my, you know, replaced my brakes and things of that nature. And mind you, I had no problems. Nobody was acting weird behind me or like blowing their horn, you know, in previous days or previous month, like, hey, you know, you almost got in a wreck with you, you know, fix your brake lights. Excuse me, so I'm spitting. So on the way, so I was able to, you know, take my car back to the shop just to make sure everything is correct. And next thing you know, on the way there, I just kept seeing somebody's headlights again, just kept going off. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm expecting them to say something, but they, you know, they kind of passed on by like nothing was going on. So I'm like, so I went to the brake shop, not the brake shop, to the auto repair shop, and he looked at the brakes. He's like, they seem to be working to me. I see your brake lights on. They checked the brake lights. They checked all my lights. They like, we don't see nothing wrong. So of course I'm like, oh God, what's going on, you know? And I'm like, I'm going crazy, mind you. My mind is sane. I'm like very sane. I mean, I was diagnosed with, you know, depression, anxiety, you know, all that type of stuff. But I'm like, what's going on? And then like something in my spirit was like, I feel like this is my spirit guides. Calm down. First of all, you know, don't have any fear. Nothing's wrong with you. This is kind of like, you know, this is all in my head. This is kind of like a spiritual attack or whatever. What I want you to do, I just start being, I guess, raise my vibration. Cause mind you, I would say days before I didn't really sleep that much, but I didn't sleep to that. I didn't like had so much lack of sleep to the point I'm just hallucinating and things of that nature. Because I was in the military, I had days I ain't had no sleep, or I might have stressful times at work and didn't get no sleep, and this never happened to me. So I'm just like, I'm thankful. So because one thing, very, very low vibrational is fear. Fear is very, very low vibrational. And when you really think about this planet, this country, whatever, it's like everything is fearful. If you got to have a job, and if you don't, you're gonna not be able to pay your bills. Fear, it's like fear of the weather. The weather is horrible. I'm not saying to not use some common sense and just be like, la la la, everything is great, la la la, you know. But at the same time, it's just fearful. And I believe it's made by design. Very low vibrational planet. Fear of something happening, fear of this, fear of that, fear of not doing this, fear of doing this, you know, very low vibrational. And a lot of times people are stuck in certain patterns that's not helping them at all, or as a matter of fact, harming them because of fear. So, and I think that's what this spiritual attack was, just to make me be more fearful. So I just like, you know what, I'm not scared, you know, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I did remember I need to be more spiritually protected. So of course I bought my crystals, you know, that and all that. And I try to stay in a high vibrational mindset. Cause mind you, if you probably saw previous videos of mine, I have experienced I think I did. No, I did record a video, but I never posted it. I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it. So, but I have experienced, certain psychic abilities, or I can go on and different, I might make a new channel about it, or you might see a video one day, talking about it. But ever since that happened, the same day that I experienced that attack, I bought this ring. Of course, I bought, I think, a candle or whatever, basically positiveness. And of course, I would say this early on, I would say back last summer, when I guess I had my spiritual awakening, I stopped using regular toothpaste and started using, or should I say, I started using fluoride-free toothpaste and, doing different things to kind of open up my third eye and things like that. And I just say things just really opened up or whatever to me. But I guess this was okay. I'm back. It just cut off. My storage was too full. So anyways, let me see if I remember talking about spiritual protection. And I think that's very important. And I feel like, I don't think spiritual protection is you gotta wear a certain outfit and you gotta do this. Basically just a lot of dogma and so on and so forth. Oh, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. So I was talking about my story, and that same day I bought a couple of crystals and basically took it more seriously as far as my spiritual protection and my spiritual discipline and such. And honestly, that didn't happen again at all. It didn't happen again. And what I like to talk about, what's so funny, when I see some of these celebrities that are, I guess they got their fame and then all of a sudden they ran to the church or whatever, and it seemed like something seemed to happen to them or whatever. I don't know. To me, I don't know. The way I look at it, not trying to offend anybody, but the way I look at it is, it's like you're jumping from a hot pan to a hot skillet. It's like, and it all depends on where they go, if the preacher or whoever is really of God, and are you learning or you teaching or whatever. Just, to me, I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't trust everybody laying their hands on, I don't trust anybody laying hands on me and trying to pray for me. I'm like, nope, I don't know. Because you might be at church doing something and then at home just acting all types of devilish. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you have like any type of stories like that, or comments or opinions, as long as they're respectful or whatever, I'm really happy to listen to those and learn from other people, or just get some other type of perspective. So anyways, I just finished shopping. I actually found a lot of great things. I'll probably make a video and put it on my Instagram for, just to describe my latest drops. And I guess maybe you'll hear it first, depending on when I post this video and, and the one on Instagram. I found a real, authentic Marc Jacobs tote. In style, denim, very, very cute. It's on trend. And I think it's new with tags. Or new without tags, but I believe it's new with tags though. But anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share if you enjoy this content, and help me boost my videos in the algorithm. Follow me on Fashion Euphoria on Instagram. And also, if you're interested in fashion, shopping for great clothing, shoes, bags, whatnot, then go to my Fashion Euphoria on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Grailed. So I hope you guys having a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.